Come on. What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er fan, 49er Gang? This is your boy 49er Dion, a.k.a. Niner Gang Podcast, back in the building. So definitely, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. So I had to come back, do another show real quick, let y'all know about the game picks and what's been going on, man. Didn't fare as good last week as I did this week. Mahoney 0504 was having with you on IG. So yeah, I am simulcasting, like I said, IG live from the phone and StreamYard from the laptop. So basically, this week I wound up 8-7, picked a couple of games incorrectly, but nonetheless, overall total is 18-13. I'm still above 500 people, so I'm still making it work. I'm gonna go over these games real quick. Let me go ahead and bring them up and let y'all know exactly what happened, because your boy messed up. I didn't mean to mess up, but I messed up. So give me just a quick second. I'm gonna pull up the scoreboard here. Good old ESPN.com. 49ers Boombox was handy with you. Let's take a look at the previous scores for this week and see what we got, man. This week was definitely a week of fantastic games. Caught a couple of games, of course, mainly focused on my Niners, not really too focused on anything else. But we'll go ahead and start with the Thursday nighter. We had the Washington football team versus the New York football Giants. And when it came down to it, I did go ahead and go with the Washington football team. So that's a dub for myself. Definitely worked out. Do you think we activate Kerryon Johnson? As it pertains to that, we may. It all depends on the health of the running backs that we got. We just signed a young running back previously out of Florida State. He's a bruiser. He reminds me of Trey Sermon. So I think, 49ers Boombox is right. Don't think they have a choice. Kyle likes to have 3 active running backs on the roster, so you'll have Mitchell. As long as Sermon can get through concussion protocol, you'll have Sermon, and they'll most likely activate Kerryon Johnson, and they'll probably put him there. Guy we just signed will most likely wind up going to the practice squad or wind up just being an inactive, strictly based on the fact that we don't have any real space for him. So next game was the Bengals and the Bears. I picked the Bengals to win this one strictly based on the fact I anticipated Andy Dalton was going to continue being the starter. He got hurt. Justin Fields comes in, provides a spark. Bears win 20-17. Next game on the list, Texans versus the Browns. I picked the Browns. Browns get the dub. Kerryon Johnson is really good. I love watching him at Auburn. He is a pretty good back. He's not, anything to scoff at as it pertains to that. Hey, how you doing, Mom? Mom's over here on YouTube there. So next game up is the Rams and the Colts. So when it came to the Rams and the Colts, I went ahead and I picked the Rams. The Rams are already 2-0. Everybody in our division is 2-0 outside of the Seahawks. They are bottom of the division at 1-1. Next game up was the Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. And the Bills didn't let me down this week. 35-0. Bills win. Patriots versus the Jets, 25-6. Bill Belichick smacks another rookie in the face as usual. They win. The 49ers pull off a grinding, grueling victory, 17-11 over the Eagles. Of course, I picked my Niners to win. I wouldn't pick any other team anyway. Next game up, it was the Raiders versus the Steelers. I picked the Steelers to win this one. I thought they were going to keep on moving, and I thought with the loss of Josh Jacobs, there would be a problem. Obviously, Derek Carr proved me wrong. He came out and got the dub. Raiders win. So the Saints and the Panthers, I anticipated the Saints to come out and kind of keep the ball rolling. Old Jameis showed up again, man. The bad Jameis Winston was not – he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So Jameis shows up, man, and stinks up the joint, and we wind up having Run CMC do his thing. Panthers win 26-7. Broncos versus the Jaguars. I had the Broncos winning this. The Broncos are currently 2-0, and they won this game 23-17. Next up on the list, we had the Vikings and the Cardinals. When it came to that, I picked the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe, yes, I did. I picked the Cardinals. The Cardinals pulled off a win by the skin of their teeth, so to speak. It was not an easy dub, 34-33. Next game was the Falcons versus the Bucks. I picked the Bucks, obviously. The Falcons made it a little bit of a game, and then next thing you know, Tom Brady showed up. Game over. Next game on the slate was Cowboys versus the Chargers. I picked the Chargers. I thought that they would go ahead and get their dub at SoFi Stadium, but Cowboys prevailed 22-17. Chiefs versus the Ravens. I anticipated the Chiefs winning this game, but this was another nail biter, guys, and the Ravens pulled off the dub 36-35. Now, I picked this as my upset of the week here, the Lions versus the Packers. I picked the Lions. Aaron Rodgers showed up and said, no, not today. So, 4 TDs. Aaron Jones had 1 TD. Devontae Adams out there with 8 receptions, 421 yards. Things just worked out for him, man. So, it is what it is. My record right now stands at 18-13. Once again, people, I am still at 500 for the season. I'm not falling behind in any way, shape, or form. So, I'll go ahead and do another game picks. Strictly probably on IG Live, though, because I like doing that. The simulcasting is cool. It's just a little bit different when it comes to, having the phone juiced and then having the laptop juiced, making sure one's running right and the other's running right, and then making sure that, I'm not sucking up too much Wi-Fi on one device but I'm not getting it on the other, and then kind of looking up and looking down and having people kind of looking at me crazy. Hey, what's going on, Matt? Melissa, she says, what up, Dion? It's my revenge week. Douche is already slamming 5. Starting the 85 fight like we used to. What's going on, Rolls Royce? Like we used to have the better 52 debate back in the Harbaugh era. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. So Melissa is one of my staunch supporters out there in YouTube world, Twitter, anything you can think of. She has a brother that is a Packers fan. Now, the funny thing for me is my ex is a Packers fan. Her sister's a Packers fan. My dad's wife is a Packers fan. One of my cousins, VC, rest in peace, he was a Packers fan. So there's some cheeseheads going around out there. But let me tell you something. Aaron Rodgers come to our house and he always cries and complains because we didn't pick him, because we went with Alex Smith. And he always bitches and complains. One thing I can tell you is if we get this run game going, you can kiss this game goodbye. If Elijah Mitchell shows anything near what he showed in Detroit, then you can kiss this game goodbye versus the Packers, because we'll just keep running it all over them. Zadarius Smith is missing. He is on IR. So there's only one Smith brother out there, and he ain't going to be able to do everything for him. Plus, with the line that we got and the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, it's going to be a fantastic game. I won't get too much into the game, strictly based on the fact that I'm going to be bringing a Packer fan on. I'm going to continue to try to do that throughout the season. Find guys who rep their squad, rep their team, whether their platform be big or small, and just get them on, have a good talk with them, have a good dialogue, some back and forth banter, a little bit of shit talking, just to keep everything rolling the right way. So next up on the list is just basically a recap of this game. So Jimmy Garoppolo, 22 of 30, 189 yards, 1 TD, didn't take any sacks. He had a QBR 55.4, which is trash, and a QB quarterback rating of 100.6. Here's the issue. Jimmy didn't play great. He didn't play great by any stretch of the imagination. I am going to say this. I'm happy that we're 2-0. That's pretty much how I feel. I'm happy that we're 2-0. I'm happy with the way that Jimmy played. Not at all. Jimmy played bad, and if he plays like that against the Packers, we're going to get our asses handed to us. So we definitely can't do that. Let's see. Melissa says they're starting that shit already. Jimmy is giving love, advice, and saying on Rich Eisen he is gonna seek Aaron about. He's gonna seek Aaron about some competing. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Melissa. You had to be a little more clear. Either way, let's see. Mahoney on IG says, I'd rather have the Packers win. I did not want them to be 0-2 facing us. with it being a must win for the Packers. We need to get Brandon Ayuk going. Here's the thing, and I'll say this. I think these first two games you were probably only going to see a minimal amount of Trey Lance as you did. The reason being is that Kyle is not going to go ahead and basically show his whole hand ahead of time. This is a season-long poker game, and you have to have a poker face continually. Me personally, I figure this. Look, the kid is probably back there learning, doing what he needs to do, getting things ready. They don't have guys in on these practices, stuff like that. But what I will say is, if Jimmy plays like he did versus the Eagles, you're going to be forced to put Trey Lance in. These next three games are against the Pack, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. So 2 division games and one out-of-division opponent that can definitely, kind of sway the odds here. We need to win these games. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Those first 2 games were kind of a gimme. My YouTube is Niner Gang Podcast. It's in my bio as far as on IG. So if you see that, definitely go ahead and give me a follow, man. Hit that subscribe button. That's why I'm doing this IG live thing, and I'm gonna throw it on the IGTV to go ahead and continue to boost it. I'm Niner Gang Podcast on YouTube, so hit the link in the YouTube, hit the link in the IG, and you'll jump right on into YouTube. But with the way that Jimmy played, we can't continue this. If Jimmy screws this up like this on a continual basis, we're gonna wind up getting ourselves killed, man. And the thing is I think there's two things here. Kyle is trying to continually push Jimmy G's trade value up. Right now, Jimmy G is is worth about a 3rd rounder at best. And you might have teams calling you saying, I'll give you a 4th, maybe even a 5th. The guy can't stay healthy, and when he does play, they know his inconsistencies. So it's not like we've got some star quarterback sitting on our roster, and then we've got this, great rookie that we drafted, and everything's going to be okay. It doesn't work like that. Basically, what we have on our squad is a quarterback who is subpar but gets things going, but he's not that great. 49er Minded asks, do I think that Jimmy gets traded this season? Jimmy will get traded if the right trade comes along. They're not giving Jimmy up for less than what they want. And the reason that is because Kyle and John are idiots to an extent. And I know a lot of people will not take kindly to me saying that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to state what I feel because this is my channel. That's my IG. I say how I feel. I'm not worried about it. When I go on other people's platforms, I respect their stuff, and I kind of keep myself to myself. I keep my opinions to myself because I don't want my views to be passed off as theirs. At the end of the day, here's the thing. You ain't getting no first with Jimmy. Everybody know that. You're not getting a second with Jimmy. Everybody knows that. The max you might get is a 3rd round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, if he starts to ball out and he plays really hard and there's a team that's desperate toward that trade deadline, yeah, you can push somebody into a corner and they might give you a second or they might give you a first. It depends on how desperate they are. But the issue is with this first 2 weeks, that's nothing for them to say, I need to give you a 1st round pick. Nobody has to say that, not from those performances. You know what I mean? He missed at least a good 4 to 5 throws that were completely open receivers he should have hit. There is no reason that, he should have missed these throws. And 49er Minded said, Rose Royce says, you getting top ramen and a pack of gum for Jimmy. You talk like you in prison, man. And then Joey Mahoney, there you go. See, came through to the YouTube. I appreciate that, Pippin. But at the end of the day, man, it's going to be a situation where we have to push Jimmy's trade value. So if we do go ahead and get rid of him and move on to Trey Lance, that we get fair compensation. For Kyle and John, they're going to want at least like a 1st or a 2nd round pick. We've got to make sure we push this dude out to the audience and say, hey, look, guys, hey, GMs, hey, teams, if you're desperate, this guy's really great. He's actually doing fantastic. Now, if you give us the 1st round pick, he's yours. Take him. We got a young kid waiting, and we'll go ahead and throw him in and just deal with things the way they come at the rest of the season. So it's not a situation where you want to trade Jimmy as far as for less than that first or second round pick, but you may have to. And the thing is if somebody can package 2 picks, that might work. Say somebody says, well, I'll give you a third and a fifth. All right, that works. That's 2 extra picks we didn't have. You know what I mean? Because we have no first round picks for the next 2 years. We're done. We don't have anything as far as that's concerned. So that's enough about Jimmy Garoppolo. I felt like he played crappy. I thought that we would possibly see Lance come out in the second half of the game. What's going on, Izzy? But the issue is Kyle will continue to push Jimmy because they need to boost his trade value. And he's not worth anything right now. So it's unfortunate. Now, the run game suffered. Total, we had 117 yards, but that was between Elijah Mitchell, Michael Hasty, and actually Jimmy Garoppolo. The one thing you did see from Jimmy in this game was he did move around a little bit more. He seemed a little more mobile. He wasn't going to be a statue in the pocket. When the pocket broke down, he shifted, he moved, he tried to make some plays and do some things to get some things done. We only had 1 touchdown rushing, and that was Jimmy Garoppolo on the QB sneak. Next up for the receiving, Deebo Samuel, 6 catches, 93 yards, averaged 15.5 yards a catch. Deebo balled out, people. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Deebo is the number 1 receiver on the squad. He got most of the targets. And basically you saw everything that you needed to see from Deebo in game 1. You saw it again in game 2. He's going to continue to do that. He's going to continue to shine. They're going to continue to use Deebo in every which way you can think of. As far as next up, we had Jermichael Hasty, 4 catches, 21 yards. Jauan Jennings, 2 catches, 17 yards, and he caught his first touchdown pass of the season. Glad, and first of his career. Happy for him. Glad he was on the field to be doing some things. He had a couple of great blocks in the game as well. So it's fantastic to see Jauan out there playing healthy and producing for this team. And that's the main focal point for me when it comes to any player. You just got to be healthy. You got to be producing at some point. And if you're not, you're wasting space. You got to move on. George Kittle, 4 catches, 17 yards. A lot of people complained about George Kittle, about the fact that he wasn't being used much. So then a lot of other people with different platforms on a variety of places are saying that Kyle is not necessarily showing you what George is really going to do. And at the same time, the Eagles decided to double, triple, quadruple. They put any and everything all over George Kittle because basically they knew last year that he killed them. So basically that opened the door for other players. And that's cool because Kittle is not a stat guy. He's not one of those people where he wants to, run his stats through the roof. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he wants to catch passes, score touchdowns, and do different things. I know he loves doing his little first down celebration, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he's a team-friendly guy. So I have no issues with what he does and how he acts. As far as when he's on the field, he's a magnificent blocker. He's pretty much another old lineman as it pertains to when he's on the line because he just blocks like a great person. And one thing, if people don't know, if you haven't done your research, that's what George Kittle's dad was, an offensive lineman. So if you wonder where that blocking comes from, outside of the tight end coaches that taught him throughout the years, when you got your dad at home that was an offensive lineman, he's going to be able to show you how to use your body to gain leverage and do things in the right way. This is basically how it's going to work. So next up, we had Juice, 2 for 15. And Brandon Ayuk only had 2 targets, guys. Caught 1 ball for 6 yards. The other ball was overthrown by Jimmy Garoppolo. So it definitely shows you that's exactly what went on. Now, the defense looked great in this game. We had a blocked field goal. We went ahead and sacked Jalen Hurts twice, both of them being Nick Bosa. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts did hurt us with his legs because he had 10 carries for 82 yards, average 8.2 yards a carry, and he had 1 TD. But if you look at the actual runners, once again, we shut that down. So total, we gave up 151 yards. But if you look at the actual runners, we only gave up 69 yards to the rushers, the actual running backs. So if you take the quarterback out of the equation, the only thing that, he brought was necessarily more yardage and a touchdown. And the beauty of what Jalen Hurts brings to the game, people, is the fact that Jalen Hurts is a pass-first type of quarterback. That's what he's aiming to do. And when he runs, he does not run like Lamar Jackson. He's not looking to gain as many yards as he possibly can. Jalen Hurts is looking to get as many yards as he possibly can and get out of bounds to further prolong his career so he doesn't wind up taking the bumps and bruises and the bangs and nicks and everything to wind up, shortening his career. So Hurts did all right. He was 12 for 23, 190 yards passing, no TDs, no interceptions, and he took the 2 sacks. So that's a damn good game by the passing game. Now, the other thing in this game was Josh Norman was there. Josh Norman had 2 bullshit PI calls that were just completely crap, and everybody knows it. I have to say, honestly, that I would have thought that, when you look at it on the surface, nothing was wrong with his play. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Diamador Lenore looks like one of those people, they'll try to test him when he goes on them deep routes. But outside of the long reception to Quez Watkins, he had a fantastic game, didn't allow very many yards, and there wasn't much to really go on. So when you look at the Eagles receiving, Quez Watkins, 2 for 17, 2 for 117 yards, averaged 58.5 yards per catch. And then he had that, 91 yarder. So you got to think about it, 91 from 117. So it means your other catches were garbage. You didn't really do much of nothing. Dallas Goedert 2 for 24, Gainwell 2 for 18, Devontae Smith 2 for 16, Zach Ertz 1 for 6. They get smaller and smaller. The targets become less and less. So when you look at it, we did a damn good job in the pass game. They tried the Philly special on us. We killed that. That was perfect. You know what I'm saying? It was picked up. There was nothing for them to do. Had to throw it out of bounds. Boom. We went ahead and stopped that. From their defensive side of the ball, basically when Brandon Graham went out, that's when the game kind of started swaying in our favor. We could not get our run game going. Jimmy was looking like horrible in the pass game, so it was hard for us to be able to get anything going in general. But once Brandon Graham unfortunately wound up being injured, momentum started to swing in our way. So cool thing about this is, when you look on our side of the ball, Fred Warner, 7 tackles, Tart and Ward are combining to become one of the best safety duos in the league, if not the best. And I'm thinking that if they continue to play the same way that they're playing, they're going to wind up becoming, at least top 5. No way, shape, or form should they be anything less than that because they balled out. They stopped everything. They only gave up 1 deep ball. Like, they did what they were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we harp on them a lot because they don't get a lot of picks and interceptions. And yes, I love me a ball hawk. That's the type of DB I like. That's the type of safety I like. So that's why I like Ed Reed. That's why I like, Paul Krause. For the people that understand who the DBs are, he's still got the total interceptions throughout his whole career. He still got that record, and I think he passed away a long time ago. Deion Sanders is my favorite DB of all time, not because just I share that name with him, because of the moniker and everything that comes along with it. Of course, I love to have Deion's money, but wouldn't we all? But either way, you had DJ Jones with a tackle for a loss, Kentavious Street with a tackle for a loss, Fred Warner with a TFL, the 2 sacks from Nick Bosa. We had 3 passes defense by Diamador Lenore, 1 by Jimmy Ward, 1 by Jaquiski Tart, another by Arden Key. So you see what I'm saying? That the pass defense was fantastic. The run defense, fantastic. So though the game looked grueling, it looked rough, it looked hard, we still did what we came to do. We went in there, we got the W, that's it. Do I like the way that Jimmy played? Not at all. Am I happy that we're 2-0? Yeah, it is what it is. McGlinchey played very well. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do to be able to keep some things going. I think he only had 1 time where somebody got past him. But, that happens, Trent Williams continues to play like the best left tackle in the game. There is no other left tackle that is better than him. And if you would like to debate me on that, by all means, shoot me a DM and any social media that I have, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I will gladly go ahead and laugh in your face and debate with you why Trent Williams is the best left tackle and why your left tackle was trash. But at the end of the day, we came out with the dub. No problems here. Special teams was fantastic. Mitch Wisnowski balled out, went ahead and had 3 punts inside the 22, inside the 10. So we definitely are seeing the fruits of our labor when it comes to him, strictly based on the fact that we picked Mitch Wisnowski in the fourth fucking round, people. You know what I'm saying? And now, one thing I always say about the Aussie is that guy can hit. You got to respect my punter. And don't come running up on him thinking you finna take him down, because Mitch hit. You got to remember them Aussies play rugby, which is basically football without pads. Mr. LA boyfriend, yeah, man, what's going on with you? Elliot? Yeah, man, you already know I'm not a game for life, baby. So at the end of the game, at the end of the day, we had Brandon Ayuk return a few punts, but when it comes to the pack, I anticipate we will turn it up a notch. I think you're going to start seeing some different wrinkles in the offense and some different things going. The one thing that I can say is during the preseason, when Trey Lance was in, and this run game was being utilized the way that Kyle wanted it to, it was ridiculously fierce, man. When we played the Raiders, mind you, we played their second, third, fourth string, fifth string, whoever. When we played the Raiders, people did not want us to run. And when Trey was in and that run game was moving, it's sickening. So my thing is, if it goes to a point where you're trying to make the run game better, you're going to have to sub Trey in every now and then to get those packages flowing the right way. Why? Because it makes sense. He's a viable run threat. And if you have defenses on their heels continuously and they don't know which way to go, what do? Back them into that corner and you run whichever way you want to. You make sure that your offensive linemen are there, they're ready, and at the same time, if Jimmy starts playing like garbage, then what you do is you have a set of plays that Trey Lance knows that you want him to run, and you make sure that he knows those, he memorizes them, he understands them, he knows how to run them, and that's it. You give Trey the same leeway you gave Jimmy when he came in and played 5 games for us in 2017 and wound up going 5-0. You made the offense very vanilla. You made it simple. You said, hey, I'll expect you to pick this whole playbook up in just a few weeks. I'm going to give you these plays. This is what you're going to run. This is what you're going to do. This is how we're going to win. But you can't continue to keep relying on Jimmy Garoppolo to take you to the promised land if he plays like he did against the Eagles. Mind you, the Eagles defense is a lot better than the Lions defense, but the Packers pass defense is better than both of those. They're better than the Eagles and they're way better than the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Jair Alexander ain't nothing to play with, and then you flip to the other side of the ball. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Aaron Jones, you got Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? You still have Randall Cobb out there. You got the young rook out there, Amari Rodgers, and he's just a secret weapon waiting to be used. And I don't know why he hasn't been on the field, but then you got Marquez Valdes-Scantling. If he takes off down the field, he's a streaker, man. They put him on go routes. That's what they use him for. And Aaron Rodgers is really good with his deep ball. His deep ball can get very pretty. So we got to keep the pressure on him. We got to make sure Aaron Rodgers is uncomfortable, and we got to make sure we shut down that run game. So as for right now, everything seems to be, going swimmingly. JaMycal Hasty out for a couple of weeks with an ankle injury. Trey Sermon going through the concussion protocol. So hopefully we'll get him back. We already lost Raheem. We still have a couple more weeks before we can even see what Jeff Wilson has to offer as far as him coming back, which is why you saw us sign the young running back today and why you saw us have Kerryon Johnson. So on Sunday, I anticipate we'll have Kerryon Johnson. We'll have Jesus Christ, name is escaping me, Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon. If Trey Sermon gets through concussion protocol. If he does not get through concussion protocol, young running back that we did just pick up today will wind up being on the field. Not necessarily on the field, but he'll be on the squad. Most likely will be active. Hold up, man. My dog, what? You want to get in? Elliot, come on, boy. You ain't even tripping. I sent you the invite, Pimpy. You ain't said nothing but a word, man. But that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely something that we are looking forward to as 49er fans, that Packers game. It is the first home game of the season. It's our season opener. I will not be there. But my dog that jumped in. Hey, what's going on with you, man? He's syncing up. What's happening, boy? Hold up, man. Let me grab my headphones real quick, dog. I can barely hear you. Let me get it here, my boy. Hold up. Hold up. Uh, try to get this Bluetooth to connect. Yeah, there we go. I hear you clear now, buddy. I hear you fully. What's going on with you, man? A little nervous. Okay. Why are we nervous? Man, ain't nobody worried about no Aaron Rodgers. Look, bro. Look, man. Let me tell you something. Aaron Rodgers been crying. Listen to me. Aaron Rodgers looked like hot shit on the stick in the first game of the season. That boy looked like a whole homeless dude out there. He looked like he didn't even care about the game. He didn't. Put it like this. The way we played the Eagles game was not necessarily great. But what I will say is we got the dub, so we 2-0. We can be happy about that. We're happy that the fact that the Seahawks are sitting on the bottom of the division for the time being. Everybody loves that. The other thing I will tell you is if we can get our the Cardinals. I'll be at that game when they come here in Arizona. But what I will say is on the basis of Aaron Rodgers, it's very simple. All you got to do is get Aaron Rodgers rattled, and you'll be fine. The way we played the run the past couple of weeks has actually been fantastic. So if we continue to play the run the way that we're doing, we're fine. He's not going to be running. He can, but it's not that's not he's not going to be running. And the other thing about Aaron Rodgers is he will wind up in a situation where he's going to be struggling if we got that pass rush on him. I'm telling you, Nick Bosa and D4 coming off that edge. The way we're using D4 this year is perfect. We spelled him. We spelled D4 continuously. And that way he doesn't wind up getting injured or hurt. He winds up staying as healthy as he possibly can. And the other thing about Aaron Rodgers is he only has Devontae Adams. I'm not scared of Randall Cobb. Nobody's afraid of Randall Cobb. He wanted him because that was a receiver he had chemistry with previously. Nobody cared about no Randall Cobb. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And the other thing is as well, like I said, Valdez-Scantling, he's just a go route type of guy. That's all you're gonna see from him. He ain't running no actual routes. He's either running a 9 route or he running a deep post. Those are his only 2 routes. Other than that, he has nothing else. So Deommodore Lenoir, that young kid, he's definitely looking great. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the long pass he gave up, he's been looking fantastic. He looked fantastic since, preseason. And the beauty of that is Deommodore is one of Deion Sanders' babies. That's one of his boys. So when you got ties to one of the greatest DBs ever, DB, yeah. Total, from a technical standpoint, he only gave up. He gave about 100, but most of that was on that Quez Watkins pass, which was 91 yards. So you got to think about it. Outside of those 91 yards, he didn't give up much of nothing. And the cool thing about Deommodore Lenoir, like I said, is Deion Sanders was the one that was keeping a close eye on him. And Aaron hit me to a thing, man. He told me straight up, we went to high school with his brother Commodore Lenoir. That's who it was. So, crap, I got to charge these joints. Say what? Yeah, I got to charge. Yeah, his older brother Commodore went to Pally, and I knew that name because his name Commodore. His younger brother is Deommodore. Like they all had names like that. So it's crazy that that happens. It's a small world, but I'm telling you right now, man, it ain't nothing to be worried about. I'm gonna do another show where I got a Packers fan in here. We're gonna make sure we get in here. Like I said, I like to get in there with the fans and Oh, that ain't nothing, man. I'll pick one out. I'm type of because I like the thing is I like to be able to have a good football conversation and throw in some shit talking in the middle. A little back and forth bets. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing serious, but we gotta let people know we coming to getting that ass. Oh no, I only what I'll do. Oh man, that ain't nothing. That's the whole point. I want that, man. And it's cool because the Packer fans, man, they got their own little situation. They're still the only franchise in the league that are owned technically by the people. That's how they make they make their bones and they run their business. But at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna definitely get that going. And make sure that I get a Packer fan on. We're gonna talk about the game. They're gonna explain to me that Davante Adams and Aaron Jones are weapons, and I'm explaining to them that Aaron Jones is not gonna run on this run defense, and that if we stop Davante Adams, who else do we have to worry about? Randall Cobb is old and outdated. Davante is your only weapon. What'd you say? Our linebackers are solid. We lost Dre Greenlaw for a couple of weeks, and they just put him on IR. So here's the thing. I'm not worried too much about the linebackers because last game they played very well. At the same time, we still have Marcel Harris filling in for Dre Greenlaw. We still have the young kid Talanoa Hufanga, who's a hybrid safety linebacker. So that's not going to be an issue as far as the linebackers are concerned. And Azeez Al-Shaair has been playing out of his mind. And shout out to my boy John V. What's good with you? But this will be a game that will test us, but we need this W. Like we need to send Aaron Rodgers back to the crib 1-2 because basically these next 3 games are going to be the hardest. We have to play Green Bay. We got to play Arizona. We got to play the Seahawks. And when it comes to those divisional games, I do see us splitting and losing at least one to the Seahawks. And we can't lose the first one. We need, if anything, we need to lose the second one just because the first one gives us a tiebreaker at a bare minimum. So if we split with anybody in division, it sets the tone. So if we get the Seahawks and the Cardinals right off the rip, then nothing they can do about it, But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of here, man. I'm gonna catch up with my boy real quick on IG for my YouTube people. Appreciate y'all jumping in, man. Listen to me and ramble about my Niners. If y'all know a Niner fan, let them know about me. You know what I'm saying? Definitely promote the channel. We appreciate everything. Thank y'all. Much love to y'all. And I'm out.